What is going on, YT? It is your boy Diego, but you can call me Chancho, and I will never, ever book an Airbnb ever again. And this goes out to each and every one of you that is watching right now. Never get an Airbnb. This is some anger that I've been suppressing inside my chest for over a year now. I had forgotten about it. I thought I had moved past it, but after seeing all these Airbnb commercials on Peacock, it all just sort of boiled over after like suppressing this anger. But I feel like it's finally time to let it out and share my story with you. Now, before I begin with my actual story, I'm sure that each and every one of you guys, if you're a living human being, has already experienced a terrible experience with Airbnb. So why don't you go ahead and drop down your worst Airbnb experiences down below. I know people have found roaches and dead carcasses and vomit all over their Airbnbs when they check in, and they don't find out until they actually get there. So share your worst Airbnb experience with me down below, and this can be a sort of support group. Go ahead and raise your hands if you've been personally victimized by Airbnb. So let's dive straight into the story. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. So last year we wanted to take a nice vacation with the family, get everybody together on the same page, spend some quality family time together and just bond, you know, especially now that we have a son. So we ended up choosing to go with Airbnb. So we started shopping. We found this beautiful house that we thought would be perfect for all of us to just kind of chill in, spend the week together. So Ashley and I take the week off of work. And if you guys are full-time workers, you know how hard it is to get a full week off of work. So in April of last year, we end up booking the house for June. And so a couple of months in advance, we have it ready to go. So our vacation was supposed to start on June 12th. And just a few days before we are supposed to go on this vacation, Airbnb sends us an email and they're like, hey, reminder of your upcoming vacation rental. They give us some information about the house that we're going to be staying at. They even give us like Wi-Fi information stuff. It seems like we're all set, right? And this is 4 days before we're supposed to go. So fast forward a little bit more to Friday afternoon, which is 2 days before we're supposed to go onto the vacation home on Monday. And we're ready to go. We're all set. We've already, established with our bosses that we're going to take the days off. You ain't gonna believe it. 2 days before we're supposed to take this vacation, we get an email from Airbnb and they say, hey, you guys remember that vacation you're supposed to go on in 2 days? We have termites, so you can't come after all. Later. And that's all they say. And we're just kind of like, whoa, what's going on? This is like such a short notice. What are we supposed to do? Not only that, how do you find out that the house you're renting has termites only 2 days before you're going to have some tenants staying there? So we finally get in contact with them to complain about it. And first of all, the Airbnb customer service is a whole scam because you got to go through layers and layers and layers of machine after machine after machine. Press this for that, press this for that. They kind of rig it so that the only way you can complain is through like messaging them. So we start messaging one of their customer service reps, and she's basically saying like, oh, I'm so sorry about this, which means nothing. And as of this moment, we weren't ready to ask for a refund yet. We wanted to see if they would actually work with us and maybe give us another house for the same time frame or something. But with such little notice, we didn't know if we were actually going to be able to get anything. So the girl's like, oh yeah, let me look it up. And she's looking up places and houses for us to stay in for that week. And she gets back to us like an hour later and she gives us a suggestion that is completely ridiculous. We had paid a good amount of money for the house that we were staying at. It was really nice. And the suggestions she kept sending us were like rundown houses that were all gross, probably had termites too. And they were disgusting. And it's like, this is an unacceptable like replacement for what we're paying for. So we finally asked her, like, look, if the house that you find us is more expensive than the one we got, like, what happens to the difference? And she's like, oh yeah, you would have to pay the difference. And it's like, so what is going on here? Because you scammed us out of a house and now the replacement you're giving us, now we have to dish out more money for it? That doesn't make any single sense. You smooth brain troglodyte. What kind of a brain dead idea was that? Because I know for a fact that if the house was cheaper and we had paid a certain amount for it, they weren't going to refund us that difference either. So they were going to scam us out of money regardless. So after like a few hours of trying to talk to this lady who's only responding once every like 45 minutes. She's giving us no answers. There's no way to contact anybody else. And we finally just told her, hey, you know what? We don't want to deal with this. Just give us the money back. And she's even skeptical to give us a refund because she's claiming that we didn't give enough notice. You're the one who just scammed us out of a house 2 days before we were supposed to take the vacation. And now you're saying we don't have enough notice to get a refund back. So after like squaring up with her, she finally decides, okay, fine, I'll give you a refund back, whatever. But it's going to take 15 days to get back to you. So we lost out on all that money for 2 whole weeks. What kind of brain dead idea is this? we can't reschedule our vacation. You know how hard it is to get all these adults, all of the family members to finally settle on 1 week to take a vacation, and then all of a sudden that gets tossed away into the trash can. A gigantic wrench just got thrown at our faces like that dodgeball scene, and it just whacked us right in the face. And now all of a sudden we're trying to scurry and like trying to find something else to do because they just completely ruined our plans. So at this point, my blood is furious. My blood is boiling hotter than Mount Krakatoa. I'm super angry. There's like smoke coming out of my ears. Me and Ashley are losing our minds because they just completely ruined our week. And we were super excited and looking forward to this for 2 months, or longer than 2 months basically. And they just ruined our life. I didn't think that just a simple refund was fair compensation for the inconvenience that they did for us, because they put us through a lot of stress. Like, we're over here trying to figure out what to do instead because they just destroyed our lives. Ended up going with Verbo instead. I'll get to that in a little bit. And so I tried to get in contact with customer service again, and this time that girl that we were messaging wasn't answering, so we started a whole other chat with another customer service rep. So he starts apologizing again. I don't want to hear it. It's just whatever. I don't want to hear your lame apology. It's pathetic and it's useless. Not to mention, guys, they have the really strict cancellation policy, but when they cancel on you, they don't even care. We get in contact with this guy and he's trying to say like, oh, we already gave you a refund. And it's like, dude, I told him straight up, a refund is not enough for what the inconvenience that you put us through. So give us something else. He gives us a discount. I was like, oh, cool. We're going to get a discount. Awesome. 5% on a future Airbnb rental within the next 30 days of equal or more value. If we apply a 5% discount to what we had paid for our vacation rental, we would have only gotten $70 off. So after everything they put us through, they want to give us 5% to use on their own website within the next 30 days on a more expensive vacation home. What kind of... So obviously at this point, I'm just super angry. And he keeps messaging me, do you want the 5%? Do you want the 5%? Do you want the 5%? And at this point, I'm just completely ignoring this guy because I don't care what he has to say anymore. What am I going to do with 5%? Like I said, we had already set apart this week to go on a vacation. I'm not going to be able to take that 5% and take another week off of work. What do you think this is? This is the real world. I don't have time to just vacation and vacation and vacation over and over. So I completely ignore him, and then he sends me another email, a follow-up email, and he's like, do you want the coupon? Do you want the coupon? At this point, Ashley's already looking on Verbo. By the way, use my code. I'm just kidding. I'm not sponsored by Verbo. But if you're going to rent a vacation home, go with Verbo. Do not go with Airbnb. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, I wasn't even going to spew or rant the way I'm doing right now. It's just that seeing those Airbnb commercials and pretending like they're helping you out on your vacation just made me want to vomit and gag and gouge my eyes out with hydrochloric acid. Long story short though, guys, let's end a little bit more lighthearted. We ended up taking that vacation that week because we found a Verbo on short notice. And it ended up being a little bit cheaper than the Airbnb that we had rented and got scammed out of because of termites. Which, by the way, there's no way you find out you have termites 2 days before, because what are you doing, That was a scam. I think they were just trying to scam us out of money. And that about wraps up today's story, guys. Thank you guys if you made it all the way to the end. Again, share your worst Airbnb stories with us down in the comments below. I will be reading them and I will be, commenting back, and we'll get through this together. But again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.